Alright, so if you see my face changing different colors here because the sun's just... But I said we do this like Brad vlog, so I mean, whatever.
Hey, we're not doing it in a car.
Yeah, that's true. So, okay, we got Legend of Korra, we got Beginnings, Part 1 and Part 2, and...
Though, I think they should have called it something different. I think it should have been titled About Fucking Time.
Yeah, I mean... I guess this is a little bit better. I don't know. I was like, no, it's like, holy shit, was that really good?
We're sitting on this for like 6, 7 episodes. Like, what episode is this?
I don't know.
Where are we? But yeah, so...
I mean, it's like, yeah, man, was this like so friggin' good? I mean, this was... It really felt like the original Avatar shows, but on top of that, it's like you get the origin of where the Avatar started and the spirit world and all this great stuff, and it doesn't feel like, hey, we're just, for lack of a better, even though I like the movie, it doesn't feel like The Hobbit, where it's like, hey, look, that thing you kind of recognize, it's very much, hey, this really explains everything. I mean, it's not just a gimmick, it's actually a good story on its own. Like, even if this didn't connect to Avatar at all, it's still a solid story, and it's still really, really good. And... yeah, actually, when I come back to Korra, I was sort of like, oh.
Well, you know, it's funny because I get a lot of flack. People keep saying, well, she's a teenager. Well, what do you expect? Well, what kind of story is that? This. This is how you take an angst. Because, like, this guy, the first Avatar... He's a douchebag when it starts off.
A jerk.
Though to be fair, he's stealing food for his friends.
No, but
he's not feeding a judge to a polar bear man bear pig.
Yeah, no, but he's still stealing the fire. He's gonna use it for his own needs. You know, he's starting a revolution. You know, just more for himself. But he learns, and that's great. That in the first season, Korra did learn, and then. It's like, yeah, it's like, see, he learned his lesson, and then he stuck with that.
The teenager excuse only goes so far, because if that were the case, then shouldn't we be singing the praises of Anakin Skywalker as one of the greatest characters ever written? Well, he's a teenager, therefore that... No, there's a good and a bad way to write this stuff. And it hasn't been awful, but it's been a little meh this season.
I think that argument actually is insulting to teenagers. To say, well, as a teenager, it's like, no, you know, teenagers, yes, every age is gonna have, you know, a con, but there's a lot of pros, and one of the things is that, you know, teenagers do learn. People
But
learn.
Dad, she's been sheltered! You don't get it, she's been sheltered, therefore she can be boring!
No.
It doesn't work that well. This guy's shelters. He's living in a shack.
Yeah, with tree boomy.
But I get like a number of people asking, well, is this it? Is this what you want? I'm like, well, yes, absolutely, and this is a great episode. But it also really just nailed how slow this season has been, because I'm like, wow, in 1 hour they gave us an angsty sort of character who went through a whole journey and transformation, and it's taken us a season and a half.
Yeah, I feel
and we're
like
still not there with Korra.
I feel like I watched a season of something.
Yeah.
I felt like this was like the Silmarillion or something like that. Like I just saw this great big epic story, and it had everything. It had interesting characters. It had this great arc. It had so much information about like the spirit world and the human world, and so much information, and it just, man, was this good?
It told us everything we've been needing to know for 6 episodes now,
and
like
it did
really
everything
effectively, and really like. I'm kind of like, I'm wondering again. I was like, should this episode have run first, or should we have been? I don't know. But I mean, I'm very happy. I'm really interested to see. It's like now that Korra has seen this whole story.
Will this have an effect?
Yeah, literally when she woke up and she was like, I'm Korra, I'm the Avatar, I seriously shouted like, good, now do something!
Act like it!
Yeah, act like an Avatar, learn something, you know, just...
Yeah, I'm really hoping that... I mean, it looks like they didn't do the amnesia thing that much. It was more just an excuse to get this backstory, but... I'm fine. I'm fine
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, because it was such a good backstory.
I guess it's a cock tease, but it's not something that we were really like, oh, we need an amnesia story. So
yeah, I mean, it's just, I'm really hoping this will like have an effect on her, because this was such a good episode, but at the same time, there's little to no Korra in it, so it's not like, okay, well, we're back on track. Well, no, we're given the story from something totally different in a sense. But it's great, and hopefully it'll tie into everything really well.
Well, I'm sure it will, because, I mean, it did give us the whole backstory. Now I'm wondering, is Vaatu influencing Unalaq? Is Unalaq actually secretly working for Rava, or thinks he is? Is Vaatu influencing it? Maybe that... Somebody came up with a good theory, and I don't think they're going to go this route. It was like, maybe like Lin Beifong acts like she's taking stupid pills and everybody else is acting like an idiot because Vaatu now is influencing them. Like,
I doubt that, but...
really doubtful, but I mean, that'd be cool. But I mean, maybe now this is all going to come together and be connected, which is what I'm hoping.
And the nice thing is that there is, which I'm hoping they'll do too, you know, maybe address why Korra has been such a pain this season, you know, or a repeat at least, is that, you know, this guy, this Juan character, went through this too. That he did start off kind of a jerk and kind of stuff.
And I like that connection.
And I'm hoping...
I just feel like we could have done that in the first season instead of like... I'm still having the issue of what did we need to see in the first season that bears any meaning here.
With Korra's character.
Yeah, with Korra's character, yeah.
Yeah,
and I mean, well, even... Where did Tenzin and the family go? They've just completely dropped out of the picture. But...
Well, and whether or not... Totally lost my thought. You go ahead.
Great episode!
Damn, no, I had something.
I like the... Well, they brought back all the Asian influence elements. I like the physical manifestation of yin-yang with... Rava and Vaatu and Benny Lava and Klaatu Barata Nikto and
yeah, you know, I was looking okay until you get to that big fight at the end, and it's like the big yin yang. They did the same thing in Avatar with the two fish. I'm always like, okay, that's pushing it,
Doug just shouted subtle,
too subtle.
No, I like the original one where they were fighting.
Yeah, like that.
And they were sort of in the shape of the yin yang when they were fighting.
Yeah, like that was more clever. It wasn't quite as obvious.
You know, all of them. My only thing is. I don't know, I'm going to have to check out the ending to the original series again, but they may be playing a little loose with the mythology here, because I thought the Lion Turtle said at the end of the first, it was like, before the elements, humans were mastering the energies in themselves or something, and I swear to God, I'm watching this, I was like, nah, they're just getting it all from Lion Turtles. So I don't know, it seems like there's a bit of a disconnect, but if that's my biggest complaint, I'm
that's not that
there's no freaking midichlorians here or anything. So.
Yeah, I remember what I was going to say. The, what actually is, the one part I got a little confused, she's like, I have to close the gate before the end of the world. I guess I got a little confused, like, is that the bad spirit's gonna come back and make things
harmonic convergence.
Yeah, like what?
The greatest garage band ever.
I didn't quite get what that was. Like, even in the backstory.
The door swings both ways. When the planets all align, Gozer comes. No, there's a North Pole and a South Pole. And the door is open, and there's some sort of connection. You saw that with the two portals there, and then there was the tree in the middle, and... When that happens, I guess one or the other could take over if they're not in balance or something. I didn't quite get that part of it.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean.
Once every 10,000 years, when the planets align, there is the chance for shit to go down.
Okay.
And you want everything in balance, or else it's 10,000 years of darkness, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Okay, that's why the big bad spirit was like, oh, this time I'm gonna win, because it was the 10,000 years this guy had. Okay, now I see. Okay, and now it's coming around again. And
I liked their out too, where he's just like, well, that's not too bad. I mean, if you light can never be destroyed, then you'll just come back and you're like, well, yeah, no, in the grand scheme of things, everything's fine, everything stays in balance. It's just bad for you. Humanity will be wiped out. He's like,
oh. How you liking this 10,000 years of darkness thing? Just like, that's a good point. So I like that too. I thought that was a good way of being like...
Because I was like, well, wait, if light and dark can never be defeated, it was like, oh, well, you can still just totally, like, obliterate the planet for 10,000 years, and then light eventually will come back, like, after a volcano.
Yeah, but still, 10,000 years, yeah. Well, now, but here's the... Again, in this backstory, you get... When he's fighting the big bad spirit at the end, I mean, you kind of get it. If he wins, darkness is going to rule and stuff like that, and it's just so simple, so quick, and you got it. And then going back to the Korra one, I have to admit, I'm still like, we have to close the portal, whatever. I'm like, because of who or what? Is it Tarlock 2.0 who's going to like do something bad in there? It's like I'm still confused what is going to happen. It's still a little confusing.
Do I use what term? Have they Nolaned this? It's just told out of order or something? Actually, Nolan films I follow easier in the way... It's just not put together very well. There's a good story here. It's just like...
Yeah, well, after seeing that, now it's like, oh, now I sort of see
I'm
the
like,
story you're trying to tell.
Yeah, but I'm like, but we had to sit through 6 episodes of really meandering around that. I'm like, there was a better way to display this, I think. I mean, well, you know what? I'll reserve final judgment.
Yeah, I mean, it's not done. I mean, we'll see what...
But so far, I'm kind of with you. I'm like, it's a good story. I think I get what she needs to do now, but it's like, why was it told this way?
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, I'm still not sure what evil and how it's going to happen.
Well, we still have none of the motivations for any of the villains. We don't. I mean, Varric being a villain, okay, that's cool.
But
what is his motivation?
Well,
don't know.
What is he going to do that's
motivation?
like, we need to close the doors? What's he going to do that's going to make things so bad?
My guess is he's being influenced by Vatu.
But even then, it's kind of guess. But maybe that's part of it too. Maybe it'll be revealed.
I mean, because if you think about it, war. I mean, he was saying it. He's like, war, power, aggression. You know, these things feed me. You know, so maybe.
But yeah, but even just from a basic story, hey, we had to stop X. Like, even though there might be a twist, like again with Amon, it's like we knew why we had to stop him and what he was doing. You know, here it's like just. Something bad's gonna happen. Might mean 10,000 Years of Dark, but we don't know why or how or...
And if you want to keep the characters' motivations hidden, because I mean, I'm not gonna disagree that it's kind of cool that we're just like, okay, maybe Korra now has to decide, maybe Unalaq's not a villain, maybe he is, you know, maybe Varric, like, we don't...
Yeah, but it's still...
You have to find an interesting way to tell that up until this point, because we've waited 6 episodes and it's kind of been like... an exercise in patience from a show that I do genuinely like, but it's still kind of like you keep checking your watch, like, okay, really?
Yeah, no, this one, I mean, I was totally invested in. I just loved it. So and
the animation.
Yeah. Oh God, the style and the backgrounds and stuff. I mean, just a different style, different look, and it really worked.
It was like it was very Japanese. Ukiyo-e paintings.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
woodblock, like, what are their names? If you like this style of animation, look up 2 artists, Hokusai and Hiroshige. They did nothing but stuff like this, and watching it, it seemed really clear to me that that was their main influence. There may have been some Chinese in there too, but a lot of it seemed like Hiroshige and Hokusai, and the wave, the giant tsunami wave that everybody sees at like a Japanese sushi bar. That's
or it's in like every massage place you go to.
Yeah, so look them up because it very much was that, except for the clouds, which seemed like something out of Secret of Kells, but...
Yeah, well, even like the layout of the city on the turtle was kind of Secret of Kells too.
Yeah, but I like that. It was, it was basically
it.
like a Hiroshige woodblock combined with like Secret of Kells, like their own sort of style, and oh my god,
and Spirited Away with all the spirits going to the bathhouse.
Yeah, somebody watched a few Miyazaki movies.
The only other thing I'll say, just to maybe give credit to another movie,
and
that
Princess Mononoke too. I got
with the
burning down the forest
cat.
and the
The other thing I'll give credit to is that the lemur in this episode is really cool, and he reminded me a lot of Willem Dafoe from that John Carter movie that everyone's like, yeah, I'm the one guy who saw it, and it's not as bad as everyone says. Like, it's not good, but people were way too mean on that film. And he just reminded me, you haven't seen it either, so you shouldn't talk.
I just don't want to be associated with people who are just like, you like John Carter, what the hell?
No, for a dumbass action film, I thought it was fine, but I don't know the books or anything, and I'm sure they're better, but...
No comment.
For just a dumbass action film, and I really like the Willem Dafoe character in there, and I haven't seen a character like that supportive and that interesting and that tough and strong and funny and stuff. And this is a character very similar to that. I like those kind of characters. I mean, it's really just giving a compliment to that lemur character. I thought he had a really clear... All these characters are really clear, good, strong
okay, I will say this. I have not
liked
liked the animation as much in this season. They switched studios. I liked the first season's style more. That being said, and that's not really the studio's fault, it's just different styles of doing things. So that being said, like, this is like a redemption episode, because this episode was so brilliantly animated.
The animation hasn't bothered me.
It hasn't
that
bothered
much.
me. No, it doesn't kill the show for me, but I do when people talk about it, I'm like, yeah, I do like season one's animation.
It's clear they do the spiritual stuff and sort of the flatter stuff and the stylistic stuff much better than the realistic stuff. And so when we get an episode like this, it just shines and it looks beautiful. And whenever the spirits come up, they shine too, but we have so little of them, you know, until now that, you know, I think that's why it hasn't had a chance to really bloom.
I love the ending too. It's like, this will be my job. I will be the Avatar and bring peace to the world. Cut to his like corpse.
Oh,
like,
that was a mistake.
wow, I failed. Okay, yeah, no, humanity sucks. But I like that. They turned him into like a bodhisattva, or you know, they turn him into like a Buddha character who has to keep reincarnating and coming back until humanity, until he's able to enlighten all souls. And I'm like, that was cool. It added a lot to the mythos, and I guess I don't think I was missing the mythos that much, because I liked season one just fine, and there was very little of the actual mythos in it.
Yeah, I mean, well,
but this one's just been missing something pretty much since episode one.
It's been missing the spirits, and here's one about the spirits.
Yeah, it's like we finally got to
we got our spirit episode in a season called Spirits. That's more, please.
That would have been the other name of this episode. The Legend of Korra gets to the point.
So yeah, we loved it, man. So hopefully we'll see you at the next one. Take care.